Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you today? It's Saturday, my favourite day of the week. Love Saturdays. A little bit different now, of course, because we can't let people in the door. And one of the things I love about Saturdays, as opposed to the rest of the week as an agent, is that people pop in, they sit with you, you have a chat. I love that. Really miss that. But still, lots of things going on. We're out showing lots of properties. We've got lots of sales going on, lots of new instructions, visits to those, and going on the journey with those vendors I mentioned before is one of the best things to me, and understanding where people are in life right now, where they want to get to. A lovely conversation with a lady, a mother yesterday, whose name will remain nameless, and she was talking about her aspirations for her family and particularly difficult circumstances, and to be privileged to those conversations is really something special, and something that I really enjoy about what I do. I always think, when people ask us to value their property, they want to get somewhere. It's the target, and that's what I want to get to, is like, how can we help them reach their target? For some, that is purely the sale and the realization of cash. For others, there are far more important things, such as where they'll go from then and how we can help them with that search. And we always do, by the way, regardless of whether it's in our area or one of our instructions, we always help them to move to that. And that for me is just as exciting, doing the negotiations, not just defending their price and getting them the best price, but actually moving on from that and looking at what they're buying, doing a study on that. We ask them to pop their postcode around to us so we can then analyze what they're buying, whether we think it's fair value, and advise them, help them all the way along the way. Because I think in the end, we are a 360 service. It shouldn't be just about, oh, there's your sale, there you go. We're property experts, and we should use that expertise to help our clients in any way that we can. Because in the end, what are we? If you're just talking about selling a property, then you're missing the point. We have no product. We are customer service. That's what we are, and we need to make sure that we give the best possible service if we want our clients to really appreciate and respect what we do, as opposed to if you're selling a Ferrari, people are going to buy your Ferrari whoever you are and however you act. But actually, if you're an estate agent, people have the pick. They have a lot of choice, and you have to demonstrate what it is about you that makes you and your service special and able to offer something that will make sure that they get the best price for their property, the best advice, the best service, and going forward also the best advice on the one that they're moving to, and giving perspective on that's really important too. So yeah, really weird at the moment because Saturdays we don't get to meet people anymore. Obviously we get a few Zoom valuations, and I do still get to do some valuations, but not as many as in normal times, as it were. Just onto general market news now. Another headline from the Financial Times this time saying that the house prices have fallen for a third month in a row. I think that's because they're not yet. What happens is that with housing, there's a 3-month delay. So you make an offer, and then obviously it takes a while to go through. And there will be those vendors that have been panicked into price reductions or forced into price reductions because their circumstances require that they move immediately. But we're finding where those vendors hold firm, actually what's happening is one of two things. The existing buyers are continuing, or we're putting the properties back on the market and they're achieving at least the same or more than they would have done anyway. And I mentioned this yesterday, and our campaign this month is about price reductions. Is a price reduction right for you and your home? And it's not right for everybody. It's not necessarily necessary. There are lots of other things that we can do before even looking at price. And we're experts at that. So if your existing agent is telling you must reduce your price, many of the corporates, in fact, I think all of them, have price reduction days where their sole job is to knock money off their vendors' prices. They don't care about what the vendor wants or needs or their aspirations or circumstances. They just want to get the money down to get people through the door. And there are other ways of doing that. And you should exhaust all of those first before looking at price. Just in general news, but our experience is that in terms of the price fall that's being dictated or being predicted, or actually saying that it's factually happened, is not our experience locally. We're at the coalface, and when people are coming in, they're making offers at or around asking price, which is the same asking prices as they were sort of 3 months ago. I think what's happened is that there have been some reductions which have hit Land Registry over the period of COVID, which have made the figures look like they've gone down, and no doubt they've gone down slightly over that period. But my expectation now is that the next news you'll see will be that prices have gone up. You know how headlines need to be dramatic in order to capture the public's attention. So I think in a month's time, you're going to see headlines saying prices have gone up unexpectedly. That is because what we found is an uptick in interest. The level of viewings were absolutely out all day, every day, viewing properties. Lots of interest in everything we've got on the market. The smaller flats that weren't selling before have started to sell. Obviously, there's an increased interest in anywhere with a garden. Everybody wants gardens these days. because I think if you've been cooped up for 3 months and you don't have a garden, you begin to realize how significant that is. Lettings, massively busy on lettings. I can't tell you how busy we are. Only got a couple of things left available, literally. Other news, lockdown changes priorities. There's another thing from BBC News here saying that landlords and owners are putting their homes on the market, being told to show off gardens instead of interior shots and kitchens, because that's where the priorities lie, which is basically what we were just saying, really, isn't it? Brits dream of living abroad. It seems that we've all been daydreaming about different places with maybe oceans nearby and the like in Portugal and Spain. Rightmove overseas searches were up by a third in May, 33%, compared with May 19. Searches for overseas homes were also compared with a year earlier, and they're up by 18% in France. Spain and Portugal have been leading the uplift in the searches made in the UK. Conveyancing is a big risk in fraud for buyers. Yeah, this is important to note. If you are buying a house and there comes a point in that transaction where you need to transfer money to your solicitors, when your solicitors transfer money to you, you'll notice that they take a verbal instruction from you always. They never rely on an email from you, because so often now these emails can be intercepted. And so be very, very careful if you've got an email from your solicitor saying that you should put money into a certain account number. Make sure that you actually call your solicitor and verify that those account details are correct. Otherwise, you could get caught out. Many do. Many people have sent an email saying, please put the deposit funds into this account, which appears bona fide from their solicitors, and only later they find out that they've just blown the whole thing and their money's gone. So really important, you check with your solicitor what the account number is, what the sort code is, and the name of the account. Don't just accept an email correspondence on it. Mortgages. Now, the other thing that we see today is banks are being accused of moving the goalposts over at Submerged. They're rejecting applications from homeowners who asked for help during COVID-19. Do you remember we were told, oh yeah, apply for a mortgage holiday. It won't affect your credit rating. Lenders won't consider it. Well, they are. And I think that's absolutely breaking the whole spirit of what these breaks were all about. So frustrated by that. But you did hear it first here. We did say that it was unlikely that they wouldn't disclose this. And sure enough, it can have an impact. Doesn't mean it's the end of the world, but they are now considering that. And I don't think they should. I think these circumstances are exceptional. Things will get back to normal. They will, promise, sooner or later. And let's hope it's sooner. So I hope you have a good weekend. I'm off tomorrow doing what I always do, a bit of a run and having some fun. That's my day. So I won't see you then. I'll be back on Monday. But have a fantastic weekend, and I'll speak to you on Monday morning. Take care of yourselves. Till then.